situations also. So basically, when do we use stems? The stems, they basically reduce strain on the proximal tibia by almost 20 to 60%, depending on the length you use. And also, they prevent loosening, especially in severely varus knees. You just had a nice talk now. You could see most of the stems are used there. And also, compressive and shear forces are reduced, which are imparted directly onto the tibial tray in especially heavy patients. And there's a very nice paper in obese patients which came out of Stanford in 2019, which says if you want to prevent aseptic loosening in BMIs more than 35, you have to use stems. So basically, stems are reserved only for revision TKRs, but they have indications in primary TKRs, especially in patients with non-arthroplasty implants earlier, obesity, very severe deformities, or patients who required constraints components. So indications for primary stems in primary TKR include severe bone loss or patients with poor bone quality, which are osteopenic or porotic, post-traumatic patients with arthritis with large bone defects. Again, the previous talk showed some good examples. Previous osteotomy patients or prior hardware which have been there and removed and you have bone loss. Varus or valgus deformities, usually more than 15 degrees, and extra-articular deformities. And where you need to restore accesses, I won't get into the mechanical and kinematic access issue here, and when you need to offload the joint. You have in primary TK in situations where you have metaphyseal defects or cysts which require augmentation when defects, and you might have to use, in addition to stems, you might have to use cones or sleeves. And where there's a lot of instability in varus or valgus, constrained or hinged implants, you have to use stems with them. And of course, I just spoke about obesity in BMIs more than 35. Revision, we all know aseptic or septic loosening, large bone defects, type 2 or 3, and a lot of ligamentous instability in situations, especially when there is a post-infective and you're doing a stage 2. Periprosthetic fractures, also you need to use stems in those. Malalignments, poor implants, and especially, this is something which I'd like to talk about, conversion from a unicompartment to a total knee. It looks very innocuous this time, but you'll be surprised the amount of bone loss they create. So what are the considerations when you're using stem? You can have fixation types, you can have stem lengths, long, short, cemented, uncemented, diameters. We can have whether you need to fill the canal or you need a tight fit, offset stems, shape, you can have tapered, fluted, or even modular stems, and of course the tibial and the femoral, that's the site where you need to use them. The main question comes when we are doing stems, whether we need to use cemented or uncemented stems. Cemented stems have been shown to be a little better, and they reduce, finite analysis have shown that axial loads are reduced in the diaphoreal bone by 24% as compared to 6% in uncemented stems. Also, the cemented and press-weight stem reduce medial lateral femoral components by 41 and 24%. So you have a choice whether you want to use cemented or uncemented stems. So what are the types of stem designs? You can have short stems or long stems. Short stems usually reserved for primary TKA. Short stems are normally defined at below 75 millimeters. They allow metaphyseal load sharing, easier insertion removal, especially in revision situations, and have a limited rotational stability effect. Long stem major bone losses have a good diaphyseal fixation. They bypass a weak metaphysis, and though there is a risk of stretch shielding, tip pain, and a canal mismatch. You have offset stems, you need to know, especially when there's a revision situation, when there's translation on the median and lateral stem axes, when canal axes or mechanical axis don't match, and there's a cortical impingement, and they do improve alignment. You can have straight stems, which are simple, stable. Most of the times we use that. Tapered and fluted, again, it depends on rotational stability that you're looking for. And modular, especially when you're doing a very high or you're doing a tumor prosthesis. So common stem choices by scenario are, if there's a mild bone loss or a good metaphysis, you can go ahead with a short one. Metaphyseal defects, you can preferably a long one, might you need to use cones and sleeve. Obese patients, you can have short or long stems, preferably cemented. And in constrained and hinge implants, always better to use a longer stem. And in revisions, you might need to go in for a modular stem. Here are some situations. This was a patient He's pretty obese, but just in that borderline category, so I decided to go to a stubby stem, a small, very small stem. Even these are known to reduce your stresses on the tibia by almost 20 to 30%. Another situation here, severe valgus with bone defects, grafted the bone defect and went ahead with a tibial stem. This is another patient with a severe varus deformity, simple grafting, stem in the tibia. I wouldn't risk not putting a stem here. Severe valgus deformity, I decided to go in with a constrained option. This is a PCK option. I decided to go ahead with that. Most of the times when I do a valgus, I always put in a stem. Somehow I fear the shear is much more in valgus as compared to varus. This is again, you can see that this is a patient. If you look closely on the left side, there is a stress fracture there happening because of the huge amount of varus, probably osteoporotic also. Went with a much longer stem to bypass the fracture site. Again, this is a patient with an extra articular deformity, did a corrective osteotomy. I won't go into the thing of putting a small plate there or not. The patient was pretty stable with a long stem, so went ahead with that. This is a patient, a young patient with a fracture, treated, had to go in for a PCK option. This is a CCK option and doing fairly well. This is a patient had an old Hoffa's fracture, refused to get treated, had a valgus. So then again, I went with the PCK option, and you can see that you need to use stems here and bypass the defects or the fractures which are over there. This is, again, you can see aseptic loosening. This is a unicondylar which was revised post-infection. This is a pre-infection. This is a frank infection, stage 1 done, went on to a stage 2. Now, if you, in the take-home summary, you can see you can choose stem based on bone quality, constraint and defect pattern. Cemented, especially when bone quality is poor. Press-fit, when you need a biological fixation in a healthy diaphysis. Short stems preserve bone, long stems have a good diaphyseal fixation. Modular stem enhance intraoptic flexibility. And basically, you should always aim for a balanced fixation and a correct alignment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vasdev. Thank you for excellent talk.